All right, guys, we have some massive news coming out of the Americas region today. Again, this is that big region, which is going to be a mashup of the LCS, the CBLOL, and the LLA, which now apparently, again, I've been calling it the Americas Conference. We've been calling it the Americas Conference North Division, South Division. It's been confusing. It hasn't rolled off the tongue. It hasn't sounded great. But now we have a new name for it, and we also have a new format for 2025, which is going to be absolutely insane and crazy. I know we've recently gotten the formats revealed from both the LEC and the LCK, and those have been really fun and exciting to go over and give our thoughts and opinions. And now we get to do it for the LTA, which is going to be the League of the Americas, which is apparently what we're going with for this new region. Again, I'm at least glad we have some kind of name for it. Obviously, it's going to take some time for the branding and name and everything to catch on. We will see how that goes. We'll see if this ends up being something that sticks, something that we actually like and enjoy and come to know and love. But here, we have our breakdown on sheepesports.com about what's actually going on with this format. So, the LCS, CBLOL, and the LLA are going to merge into a two-conference league in 2025, the LTA. So, as previously reported by Sheep Esports, LCS, LLA, and CBLOL have merged into a two-conference league, the League of Legends Championship of the Americas, the LTA. The LTA North, LTAN, which is going to be the kind of NA version of this, 6 LCS teams, 1 LLA partner, and a guest team, which is going to be disguised, as we talked about yesterday. That's going to need to actually defend its place in the league at the end of 2025. There's going to be a little like relegation setup for Disguise versus some other teams below them. The same applies to the LTA South, LTAS, which will feature 6 CBLOL teams, 1 LLA team, and then a guest team, which I believe that's going to be Isurus down in the southern region of things. While the LTA season will be played in Los Angeles, the LTAS season will take place in Sao Paulo, obviously. So that's pretty exciting there. When building the rosters, teams also need to bear in mind the residency rules. The majority of the team's players must come from the conference's region, but as a part of the merger, Riot is slightly tweaking this rule. One of a team's 3 resident players may be from elsewhere in the Americas. That means that as an LTAS team, for example, you will still need 2 players considered residents in South America, but you could do a North American import and then 2 Korean imports. So it's kind of a little bit of change to like the import restriction and import rules and everything. So that's kind of interesting there. You do need 2 players from your original conference. 1 more player has to be at least from the North or the South, and then those other 2 players can be like the legitimate imports that you might know, Europe, Korea, China, whatever. So split 1, here's what's going down as far as the different split formats. This first split will kick off on January 25th, which each conference competing in a double elimination best of 3 bracket fearless draft. After 2 or 3 best of 3s, 4 teams will be eliminated in each conference, sent to an early vacation to wait for split 2. The 4 teams from each conference that survive the stage will travel to Brazil for a single elimination best of 3 bracket played with fearless draft. The semifinals and grand finals will be best of 5, with the winner qualifying for the new international event. So again, we do know that there is now 3 international events. We had Worlds, we had MSI, and then we have this third one. I don't know if it has a name or a setup or anything just yet. Hopefully that will all be announced very, very soon. But that is what that's looking like. This is how those teams are actually going to qualify. Again, we're going to get 1 team from the entire LTA qualifying for this first international event. That's how they're going to qualify. We're going to get a lot of best of 3s, a lot of best of 5s. It's going to be exciting. We'll get to see, obviously, our own conferences playing up against each other, and then our top 4 teams from each going to compete and getting to take on each other. So there's going to be some North and South rivalries being built in right away, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see, are the LCS teams going to be dominant in this tournament? Are the South American teams going to be able to hold their own, or are they going to, maybe surprise and be way stronger than anyone thinks? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I know so far some Southern teams are actually doing some cool, crazy offseason stuff. Trimby coming over to Vivo Keystars is very cool. It should be interesting. Hopefully it'll be a lot of fun. Split 2, teams from each conference will clash in a double round-robin best-of-1 format against every other team in their own conference. Following the regular season, the top 6 teams from each conference will go through a double elimination playoff bracket, still in their own conference, to crown 2 champions. 1 LTAN champion, 1 LTAS champion. Both will represent the Americas at MSI. So it looks like in Split 2, we don't really have any mashing up of the North and South. Again, I don't know, will people think that we should be playing North and South against each other more often? Will people think we shouldn't be? Obviously, it's a big travel. LA and Sao Paulo are nowhere near each other at all. Like, look at a map and stuff. So it does add a lot of complications and everything. So it seems like Split 2, we're going to keep everything separate. top two teams, they're going to MSI. That's how they decided. That means we will guarantee one North and South team both going to MSI. So this doesn't really make it feel like one conference as much as still, being like the CB LOL and LCS, still pretty separate there. So yeah, I don't know. Nothing too crazy there. Kind of maybe like more traditional formats. And then we get to split 3, where we get some absolute insanity. Now, I did want to read this editor's note because I do think this is pretty funny, and the Sheep Esports team has been racking their brains trying to make sense of this all. It seems very, very complicated. Obviously, we're going to have to get a more official explanation from Riot or, just actually see this thing in action. But I don't know. So far, they haven't done a great job of communicating this, and it's maybe just very, very complex and hard to understand. But we as a Sheep Esports editorial team tried our best to fully understand split 3, but after hours of hair pulling, we decided to give up, which is funny. But still, here's what we understood. So split 3 will introduce a new format called Pick and Play. At the end of each week, teams will choose their opponent for the following week, which is a crazy style. It's a crazy format. Live on stage, which that'll add some drama. That will add entertainment. That will be very cool. Like right now at Worlds, where we have the draws at the end of the day, how we draw for the next round of like the Swiss stage and stuff like that. That is a viewing event in and of itself. After the games, people tune in just to see the draws. So maybe this will be another opportunity for them to get more people to tune in. Maybe you can even get, like a specific sponsor just for these things. I don't know. It sounds pretty interesting. Sounds pretty crazy. It could be too ridiculous. It could just be too dumb to work, but it also could be very fun and exciting. So the focus will be on competition and teams asserting themselves against their rivals. You can call a team out. You can be like, hey, we want to play you next week. We're going to play you next week. We're better than you. We think we can beat you, etc. That could be very, very fun. And you'll also lead to teams dodging other teams. They might pick one team and then some other teams like, hey, you guys are soft. Why didn't you pick us? It's because you guys are scared. It could add some natural trash talk and flow to the league. I think that could actually be very cool. The focus will be on competition and teams asserting themselves against their rivals. Each week will feature best of 3 matches with the first one based on the split 2 ranking. So we're getting best of 3s in split 3, which is very exciting. Obviously, people have been asking for more games as far as entertainment goes and actually getting to watch our teams play, but also to make us more better suited for international competition, because we know China and Korea, they play like 1 million games per year, and the LCS, some teams would play like 10 games. So we do want our teams to get more games to be more prepared for stage matches and stuff like that. So again, here's what this is going to look like. Week 1, based on the split 2 standings, you're going to have a bunch of teams play each other. And then in week 2, a 1-0 team is going to get to pick another, or an 0-1 team is going to get to pick which 1-0 team they want to play. And I don't know how that order will be determined or whatever, obviously, but it'll go down the line. Like this 0-1 team will be like, hey, we want to play them. Next one, hey, we want to play them. And that's how the matchups for the next week are going to be decided. And then same thing here. It says, okay, and then week 3, we're going to have some 0-2 teams that are going to get to pick who they want to play. Then some 1-1 teams who are going to get to pick who they want to play. So it's very, very interesting. It's very complex. I don't know how it's going to work out throughout the whole thing. I understand that you can't play the same team twice, so it's not like you can't just call out the worst team in the league every single week. You still have to play every team, whenever. So in that way, who you pick, I guess, won't really matter if you're still going to end up eventually playing everybody. But maybe it's some like artificial drama and stuff being created. I don't really know. At the end of the week, the teams with the worst results in series and games will choose opponents with better results. It won't be possible to challenge a team you've already played against, and Stage 2 will serve as a tiebreaker. After week 3, we enter the elimination stage. The 4 teams in the lower half of the standings will fight to stay alive, while the top teams are temporarily safe. Here, the selection process reverses. The team with the best record chooses their opponent to continue their survival. By the end of the week 6, only 3 teams will remain standing in each conference. The top 3 teams from LLAS will travel to North to compete in the 2025 America's Regional Championship. There, all 6 teams will compete for the first LTA trophy. The top teams from each conference will enter the regional event, guaranteed qualifications for Worlds, while the other teams will fight for the last spot in the arc. So I don't know. Lots of going on there. Lots of craziness. Lots of insanity. But the big news coming out today, again, is that this whole thing is going to be called the LTA. We have LTA North. We have LTA South. And we have a bunch of new formats and a bunch of new craziness. Hopefully it'll be fun. I can't wait to see what happens. But did want to get this news out to you guys. Hopefully we catch you in the next one. Until then, peace. Everything we are doing here at Sheep Esports for the rest of 2024 is powered by Holy. This is an awesome company that makes great tasting energy drinks that also just so happen to be healthier than the competition as well. They sent me this starter set deluxe, which comes with a Holy shaker and then 14 individual servings of Holy Energy, Holy Hydration, and Holy Iced Tea. So you get a ton of awesome stuff for a great price. And if you want to get even better price, check out the first link in the description below. Use discount code SE5 to get €5 off your first order, or SE10 to get 10% off your entire basket. If you guys want to help continue to allow us to provide the amazing coverage of both Worlds and the offseason that you guys know and love, definitely check out Holy, buy some stuff. It would mean the world to us. Thanks.